Hi, and welcome back to Tabletop Talk and Draw. My name is Storm Cook, and today we're going to be tackling the characters of Paladin and Vega, a superhero world, in Sean Patrick Fannon's Modern Gods setting. I designed these characters to be sort of facing each other on maybe a double page spread. I don't know if that's the way he's going to use them, but I did it with that in mind, and just to give them that flexibility. They certainly can be on their own page and stand alone, far, far apart each other in the book, and that's fine. I did the original pencils in two other videos. I will have links to those videos at the end of this video. And that reminds me, if you like this stuff, please, give a subscribe, give a like. I would much appreciate it. So in this video, we're concentrating on doing the inks of each character and doing the color of each character. So I am just kind of going over. Now, I did a lot of establishment in the pencils here of what I wanted to do. So right now, I'm just kind of trying to think about what lines are going to be thick and what lines are going to be thin, and if there's a line that's sort of going thick to thin or thin to thick or whatever. And so this part is fairly easy, except for inking is always kind of a challenge because you have to have sort of a deft hand, and I'm doing this digitally as opposed to traditional brush ink or quill ink, and I've done that. I've done a lot of that. So now I'm getting into the color and sort of establishing some of the major color structure, and it's just a matter of refining and getting in there and then getting some shadows in there and some highlights and stuff like that. So this is a character who's been around for a long time in the superhero game. I think he started in the 70s. He's like 80 now or 60, and he's supposed to look 40. So he's got some anti-aging, or he's been in wormholes or something. I don't quite remember what was going on there, but I do know that he's supposed to look like he's 40, and so I'll work on the face behind him in a bit when I do that. And yeah, I mean, the character's fairly well established. I had to do a little bit of jumping there. I forgot to tape some of the energy effects that I was doing, but you'll see them come up again as I work in them. And yeah, I managed to go back and kind of recreate what I was doing there. And so yeah, it's just a lot of little details and making sure that that works. Get a little Kirby crackle in the sort of the energy propulsion, and now I'm working on the face, which was just I'm really kind of using the digital color almost as a watercolor on top of what's already there, and going back between layers, sometimes blurring. I know he has sort of cybernetic eyes, which was one of the reasons I wanted to do the face behind the main figure. And there you have it. That's Paladin. He's pretty much done, and now we're going to move on to Vega. And again, I sort of had a lot of what I wanted to accomplish there, but even having said that, when you ink, there's another opportunity to refine and to really think about what those shapes are. And I thought her armor was a little confusing around that kind of difficult holster, and I ended up simplifying it and making a lot more black behind there. Her armor is going to be kind of dark, the Under Armor and the plates on top of it. Actually, the whole character is going to be rather dark, but we're going to have kind of two-tone blues and grays. So yeah, and it's just again thinking about where I want to spot my blacks. I made a little goof there, and I filled up the whole page with black. Luckily, Control Z is my friend, and yeah, I did slight adjustments on the foot there. I mean, I don't know if you can even tell the slight adjustments, but those adjustments are a big deal. Going in on another layer and just sort of laying in some shadow areas, just really briefly, and then I have another layer which is set to multiply. So when I start to color, those shadow areas will come up through. And yep, I know she's supposed to be Latina, and I think I said this in the previous pencils, the pencil video of her. I knew the skin color and the hair color was going to have to carry a lot of that. I don't even know if, and I ended up adjusting the entire tonality of the figure. So I sort of lightened her up because I felt like it was a little too dark, and I probably should have gone in back into the skin and darkened her skin up a little bit more. But my wife's a Latina, and she, in the wintertime, she reads as Caucasian skin. I mean, she has got a little tint of olive, but boy, in the summertime, she darkens right up. But then again, she is a sun worshiper, so yeah, it's just and then when I get to the head, because the head I want it to fade in space, I really don't have the luxury of hitting the skin tones and being making them really really dark, because it has to read as a watercolor. It has to read as something that's sort of fading behind her, and you'll see that when we get up there. Just a lot of real subtle stuff going on in her armor at the moment. I'm just like lightening up certain areas, like hitting certain areas with a little highlight, and it's pretty subtle because I didn't feel like this was a character who was going to have like shiny armor. Like I don't want like really bright highlights, so they're very dull highlights. Now I'm working into her face. There were some issues with her neck, which I realized coming from the model from Clip Art Studio, the three-dimensional model. It's the head is just on a peg. It's not a neck, and the peg goes straight up and vertical, and it doesn't tilt like a neck actually tilts from the shoulders. And if you're looking at it sideways, and so that was a I had to adjust that neck and make it read a little bit better. And now I'm just trying to get the skin tones down, and I'll even from here I'll fade the character a little bit, getting some highlights in there. See, I just faded the whole thing, and I because I really need her to sit back in space. So it's a matter of, yep. And then there she is. She's pretty much done. And then I'll put the two of them back together. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, like I said, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. So until then, keep on keeping on.